the Eagles are almost an identical copy of what we do. And that's what concerns me about the Eagles a little bit. That's what concerns me about the Eagles. Jalen Hurts this year, he's not turning the ball over. 13 touchdowns with 5 interceptions. He's not putting the ball in harm's way like it was before. Now with Saquon, he can turn it off. Saquon's closing these games out for the Eagles. 1,300 yards on the season. And come on, you know we still got a lot of games left. He's on pace to break a couple records. MVP conversation.
How many TDs he got?
Decent tight end. I believe he
How many
has 10.
TDs he
I
got?
believe he has 10. And that's
Yeah.
only because,
How many TDs we got
but again, so getting
in the
back to the point,
backfield?
but getting back to the point though, good tight end, good wide receivers out there. Defense top in the league. Their offensive line second best in the league. Only behind, guess who? Us. I think what concerns me about the Eagles is the race for number one. I believe the NFC Championship game, let's play it out. Let's say the Eagles and Lions are both there. I think it just might come down to who has home field advantage.
Then
That's
you're
how
in
close
Detroit.
I think the
Then you're
Eagles
in
are.
Detroit. Then you're
That's
in
how
Detroit.
close I think the Eagles are to us. Before Sunday night's game, I would have said, okay, yes, if they go up against a team with a high-powered offense, a good offense, their defense does struggle. Even with that being said, I still would have said, there's a little bit of similarity on our offenses, but I didn't look at the defenses like that. After yesterday's game and the demolishing they did in LA, it was, as I explained earlier about how the Lions did the Colts, is almost similar. I feel like I was watching the Eagles do that to the Rams, where you just took the oxygen and life out of a team slowly but surely. And by the end of the game, it wasn't close. Saquon leaned on. I mean, I think he had 260 plus yard runs in that game yesterday.
70+ yard.
People don't
Yes,
look at the
but
Rams defense as terrible, and people definitely don't look at the Rams offense as terrible. Now, in saying that, that's where I'm giving respect to the Eagles. Am I worried? Am I concerned? Of course not. Do I trust our team? Absolutely. Do I trust our dominance? The thing I was thinking about even as after we beat the Colts was like, man, I mean, you line up any other team, especially on the AFC, all these guys over the Chiefs, Steelers, the Bills, the Chargers, maybe the Ravens. I'm like, we might blow them out the Super Bowl just because of how
this
we
is the
play in our play
thing.
style.
The Eagles aren't dominant, man. They not. They not, bro. I
Saquon
remember.
is having an
Look,
MVP
they
season.
got the
Jalen Hurts
Eagles
has
have two
23
L's,
over
right?
2,300 yards. And mind you, I do want to say this too. They're on a 7 game win streak right now. So
Yeah,
with the
we're on the
2 L's, they're
nine,
on a 7 game win streak.
and we're on the nine.
And that's
They're on the
why
win
I'm
streak ever
saying,
since AJ Brown came back. You know where those two L's came from? They didn't have AJ Brown out there, but everybody's talking about Saquon.
yeah,
But
but if
look,
you
I
take
know
a
all I'm
you
saying
take
is all
Immanuel
I'm
out
saying
the
is
game, I'm just
all
saying.
huh?
Respect where respect is due. If you take anybody's top wide receiver out the game, it may limit or stall
Yeah,
the
I've seen us win
offense.
games with the Ra with barely touching the ball. If you really watch them, they're not that dominant, man. They're the same guys. They're the same guys that were like what 10-0 last year, 11-0, and then couldn't win another game after that. And they're the same guys because now what it really comes down to who has the better coach, who has the better coaching staff. If you're saying the Eagles are also we're here, we're there, they're here, we're here, and all the other
I mean,
things,
it's
everything's on
identical.
par, right? Everything's on par. We
It's
both have a Super
identical.
Bowl quarterback. We both have elite running backs. Both have elite receivers,
Well,
tight end, O
Sirianni's
line,
been to the
D
Super
line.
Bowl, right?
I do see the similarities, but
Or did,
I
well, no, no.
believe.
Let me answer your
Hold
question.
on.
Let
I
me answer the
believe.
question. You asked the question. Let me answer. Sirianni's been to the Super Bowl. Dan Campbell hasn't. I'm not knocking Dan Campbell. Don't even look at it that way, Lions fans. Don't get on me. But what I am saying is they're both very similar. They're
Are you
motivators.
sure Dan Campbell
Guess what?
hasn't? He's been a coach before the
As a
Lions.
coach,
I'm not. I'm not sure
either
where he
way,
was
look,
at.
either way, Sirianni, Dan Campbell, they're both motivators. Rather one's been or one hasn't been, or rather they've both been, they're both motivators. Dominate. Their teams are led by their coordinators. Their schemes are came up with by their coordinators, right? So you look at Vic Fangio, come on, Kellen Moore, come on. And then you look at Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. Now, of course, offensive wise, offensively speaking, and again, when you look at the coordinators, that's why I said it's very, very similar